Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, sir. I am fine, sir.
Might I have an introduction with you?
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Kumar Raj, and I was born and brought up in Gaya district in Bihar. And I graduated from IIT Kanpur in 2020 from mathematics. Then after I had an work experience of about 1.5 years, and since then I have been preparing for UPSC civil service examinations.
I see. Could you hand me your resume?
Yes, sir. Sure. Here it is.
So you do have a work experience.
Yes, sure.
With two organizations. First one, how do you say it?
So first one is
More of an internship.
Yeah, at Slumberjay I had an intern.
Slumberger.
Yeah, Slumberjay.
I see. And then you worked for about 2 years with WeMock.
Yeah, 1.5 years.
I see. Could you state your reason for leaving this organization?
Well, since always like I wanted to work for society. Like since my childhood, I wanted to work for society and work for downtrodden people who didn't have that much opportunity. So that's why I opted for civil services. Like I needed financial independence initially, and that's why I have chosen to work for any software company in the beginning, and after that I started preparing for the civil services examinations.
So say you worked as a software engineer for WeMock and you did the best of your job. Wouldn't that be a public service?
Yeah, I do agree that it would have been a great public service as well. But my passion is to work at the ground level directly for the people who require at the direct level. Not being a software engineer, I would have been contributed, but that was indirect. But as a civil servant, I would be helping people more directly.
Directly?
Yeah.
Alright. So that's your primary purpose to join UPSC?
Well,
Are you aware of Kailash Satyarthi?
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about him?
He started the Bachpan Bachao Andolan, I guess in 2011 or 10, I don't remember the year exactly. Under it, he worked for small children for their education and saved them from ill things, right? For which he was also awarded Nobel Prize. Yeah.
So why didn't you consider opening your own NGO or maybe start a campaign like Kailash Satyarthi? Why specifically UPSC?
Well, I have plans to work for NGOs as well. But so for now, like NGOs do require networks, and for those things, like these things will take time. But civil services give me a direct opportunity and easy way. Like I can start very early and very easily. For NGOs, we need a lot more things. And being in civil services as well, I can always collaborate with other NGOs, help them to do their work more efficiently.
Alright. So coming back to Kailash Satyarthi. Now he has been serving the society, specifically children in the society, downtrodden children and children under need of help for about 14 years. And he has been able to rescue about, if you are aware of the number, more than 75,000.
Okay.
Isn't that helpful?
Yeah, I do agree that is very helpful.
How do you think as a bureaucrat you will be able to affect these many lives positively?
So, as a bureaucrat, bureaucrats not only help directly as with personally, but also with their policy formulations. When give me a minute. Civil servants are also involved in various policy formulations, right? With that, they can impact lives of people. Say there is a Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Andolan was there, right? With that, bureaucracy was able to uplift the female children and their gross enrollment ratio to a large extent. So I think bureaucracy also provides ample opportunities to impact at the ground level. NGO is one way and bureaucracy is also another way.
Alright. So you have consecutively scored great in engineering, and then you got a good job as well as a software engineer. So what was the stimulus? What was your first intuition, the thought that occurred to you that I want to be a UPSC, sorry, not aspirant, I want to be a bureaucrat?
Well, sir, my childhood experiences itself was a big reason. Like in my childhood, I used to work with my father at his shop. My father owns a medical shop, and I used to work like 5 to 6 hours daily with him after my school days. So that was when I went to the college, I realized that not every kid had such a struggling life. So I felt like probably, but at the same time there are also millions of kids who are having even harder life than mine. So at that point I started to look for ways in which I can contribute to that cause, so that their life can become easier and they can upgrow in their life in effective ways.
Alright. Do you know somebody who happens to be a bureaucrat and making a difference?
And there are lots of people
Let's
like
hear.
there is Palm Armstrong, who is an IS officer in Northeast Cadre. Okay, with the help of people only, like he didn't even take funds from the government and built infrastructures and roads for the people in the village, and now those people have access to everything nearby in much easier way. He is one of them. Similarly, E. Sridharan was there. He was not an IS officer but an engineering officer. He built the Delhi Metro, and which we all know is a technological marvel in itself.
Right. So how did he get access to funds? Where did he arrange funds from?
So firstly he asked for I don't remember exactly, but he asked for local people who are in capacity to contribute. Then he asked for corporate social responsibility. It's 2%. There is a 2% mandate of there. Every corporate should give. So he asked for the corporates if they can contribute. With that, and with the help of some NGOs, he gathered the fund.
I see. And how would you deal with political interventions?
So I think political interventions doesn't occur until and unless if the officer is biased. If an officer has integrity and honesty with him, political biases is not going to affect him that much.
Really, is that the thing? Okay, tell me one thing.
Yes, sir.
I know of a man who happens to be an IAS officer in Rajasthan. He was my former student. In 30 months, he was transferred 6 times. Can you tell me the reason behind it?
I agree. Political intervention could be one reason, but it would be it is not going to if he is determined to provide public services, it doesn't matter where he is working. If he is transferred to any remote place, or if he is being transferred multiple times, he can make difference there. Always there is always a scope of improvement everywhere. So it doesn't matter he is transferred multiple times, and even if he is being transferred, so I agree political intervention was there, but it remains only in the initial years of service. With time, I think these things will change. This things tends to change.
Alright, so what you're saying is, if an IAS officer remains duty bound and refuses to entertain politicians, he can contribute.
Yeah.
And I gave you an example of frequent transfers that happen.
Yes.
So how do you think this strategy is going to be effective?
So I'm saying that even if an officer is transferred to another place, even that place would provide opportunity to contribute. Probably the earlier place where he was working would miss the opportunity, but at the new place he will again get opportunities to contribute in positive ways. And
What if he is transferred again? 6 transfers means repeated transfers, right? Okay, I'll ask you another question. Acharya Chanakya once said, and I quote, "When the storm comes, the most inflexible or rigid trees fall the first." To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement?
I agree with the statements.
Mm-hmm.
So life is full of ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
and when we become rigid in our approach, we shut ourselves from improvements.
Alright.
In life, we should be flexible enough to understand the ups and downs and take the decisions objectively and pragmatically.
Alright. So isn't this statement a contradiction to your previous standpoint? You previously agreed, right? In fact, said yourself, if an IAS officer is duty bound and refuses to entertain corrupt politicians, he can continue to make a difference, right? Now you're saying something else.
No, sir, I think there is a coherence between my statements.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I have said, that virtues, there are certain virtues which cannot be mended, right?
Mhm.
Being honest is one of that virtue which shouldn't be given up at any cost. In the
Okay.
second stage, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you 2 options, 2 scenarios in fact. You choose one and give reasons behind it.
Okay, sir.
Scenario number 1, a corrupt politician asks an IAS officer of that area to keep mum while he engages in corruption. The IAS officer refuses to do that and takes action as per the law. Alright. Do you think that, and hence gets transferred and is not able to do anything during his tenure at a particular location? Means being completely rigid about his job. Secondly, in second case, an IAS officer, well, in certain circumstances decides to be flexible and keeps mum while continuing to do his job, and hence doesn't face the wrath of the politicians and doesn't get frequently transferred, remains at a single place and is able to, make some difference. Which scenario will you choose?
Sir, I will certainly choose the first scenario.
Complete rigidness.
In this case, because few things are wrong.
Mhm.
Being corrupt is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and being part of a corrupt activity will make me corrupt as well.
This
And-
brings me to another popular example, Ashok Khemka ji.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you discuss his case?
In the case of Ashok Khemka, sir, he is an active civil servant, and he is being transferred multiple times.
More than 50.
Yeah.
And currently he is placed at a location, at a district which does not exist in reality, exists in on paper only. That means he goes to an office but has nothing to do. This was his recent statement, that I work for 8 minutes a year and I'm still getting paid 30 lakh rupees per month, per annum. In other words, he is rigid and is not able to do anything.
So
Can we discuss this?
I haven't read much about him, how much difference he has made. I do think he would have made some differences, of which I'm not aware.
With 56 transfers.
I don't have much idea about this.
Alright. So your opinion is being completely rigid with corruption is the only answer.
Yes.
Even if it backfires. Or some amount of flexibility will help you. Help others.
So, for corruption, I don't think flexibility will help. Only it will worsen the situation. And corruption can be dealt with another ways, like through transparency, using technological mediums, or auditing processes. But getting comfortable with corruption will only increase the problem, and that will not be helpful for the society and our nation.
Actually, that wasn't my point. Okay, let's increase the scenarios to 3. First one, completely rigid. Second one, somewhat flexible while he is able to do his job, so that he is able to do his job, okay? And third one is completely flexible and allows any amount of corruption. Which scenario will you choose?
So again, I will choose rigidity.
The first
to
one, okay.
corruption.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's leave this point here.
Okay.
Let's discuss something else. So you are comfortable with any services, IAS, IFS and then IPS. Alright. Majority of the people prefer primarily IAS, secondarily IPS, and tertiary option is IFS.
Yes.
What I see here is that you prefer IFS over IPS. Could you state why?
So simultaneously, I also have an interest, personal interest in geopolitics as well. I sometimes follow news, what is happening globally, and the work of external affairs ministry fascinates me, and that's why I've chosen it.
Alright. So how do you think Trump's victory will impact India?
So Donald Trump's victory. So give me a minute to think. So there are two scenarios as far as I can see. Firstly, there will be a strict visa issue can be there. Like as per the data, in 2016, just before President Trump won the elections, the visa denial rate was around 9 to 10% for India. But in 2018, it jumped to 24%. And that has affected our IT professionals to a large extent. And even our companies like TCS and Infosys and Wipro. So again, that could be a unfavorable scenario for India. And second, a winning situation which I can see is with respect to the Trump's ideas toward China. He, as far as I feel, he doesn't prefer China, and he has even promised in his election campaigns that he will pose 60% tariffs. And because of that, I think a lot of exports will be preferred from India, and with that India's exports and eventually our manufacturing capability will also increase. So it will come with a mixed bag.
Alright, so overall what do you think? Will it have a positive impact or negative impact on India?
So currently government is preferring our economy to be boosted through manufacturing, job creation, and more and more exports. So I think all these things will be promoted more. So overall I have a positive feeling.
I see. Okay, now let's discuss job creation, which has become one of the biggest hurdles for, I would say, the growth of our nation. Majority of our youth, in fact, currently the unemployment rate is the highest since, I would say, our freedom. So how do you think in the era of AI more jobs can be created?
So India is is currently the most populous country. So I think for the adoption of AI should be a bit slower in case of India. And for creation of jobs, I think people are needs to be upskilled. According to one of the reports by Lokniti, our over 80 to 90% of our youths are unemployable, and that is the prime reason why there is high unemployment. So if we upskill people, so the entrepreneurial spirit will also get developed in them, and that would create a ripple effect and create a virtuous cycle for employment.
Alright, so you are saying we should adapt technology slower, but don't you think this way India will be left behind? Shouldn't technology be accepted and adapted as it is, in fact as fast as possible?
I do think that India should adopt technology and as soon as fast as possible, but for smaller jobs, these things shouldn't be automated at lower level. At higher level we must do so that we do not get left behind, but at the lower level for small paying jobs, I don't think we should adopt technology at such a fast pace.
Alright, so what do you think, will AI be our friend or our foe?
So I think AI has both the capability of being our friend and being our foe, but it depends on our choices and way we inculcate ethics in the AI. So mostly I think AI is going to our friend, but at some points they can be unethical as well. So at that point we need to intervene and inculcate positive ethical values in them, and with that AI is going to be our friend only.
I see. Define positive ethical values.
So positive ethical values. So positive ethical values means what's taking decisions based on the ethical theories and practical scenarios which must be done at a point of time. For suppose give me a minute to think. So AI shouldn't be biased towards any community or inculcate any negative feelings in the people. AI should be neutral in its approach. Although there are various cases even in the chat GPT, for example, has been noticed that it inculcated negative suicidal thoughts in people, or gave answers which are biased towards some communities. So at those point of time, we need to inculcate values so that it becomes neutral again.
I see. And what if the answer is factually negative? Then should AI tell the truth as it is, or should AI manipulate it?
Sir, I think there should be an age barrier to it as well. If the user is a child, firstly the use should be restricted. They shouldn't be given complete freedom to use it, because they probably have not developed that much maturity to handle it. And for adults, I think the AI should give neutral answer and not fabricated one.
What do you mean by neutral?
Neutral means
Naked truth as it is?
Yeah, truth as it is.
No matter how harmful it is for the society collectively?
So anyway, information is going to be there on the internet or anywhere else. People can get the answers.
Okay, let's put it this way. There are some dark phases of our history which we refrain from teaching children in the schools because we do not want to corrupt their minds. It may not corrupt their minds, but we want to protect them from the dark or negative truths. And that's why we have created our history books or our syllabus in such a way that they get access to the positive side of the information only, and they are protected from the dark truth. My question is, should AI be allowed to share the darker side of reality, the truth as well, as it is, or not?
So that's what I'm saying, that for children, they are not up to that maturity level to handle the truth as it is.
And what about adults?
So for adults, I think that reality should be given to them as it is, and it should be given, and they should be given the opportunity to decide upon themselves how to react with the truth.
I see. So you are also suggesting that age brings maturity. Is that a fact? With age, do people necessarily become mature?
Sir, I think children are less mature than adults. I think age is one of the factor with which people get mature. I agree that not every adult get that much mature, but
could you be a bit more specific? Children of what age are immature, and children and adults of what age are mature?
Like I think at the age of 20 to 25, people get started to get more and more mature, and compared to their teenage life. So I think from that point of time, people starts to understand the things better. So from that point of time, they are more mature.
All right. Right. Another question: why bureaucracy? Why not politics? Because constitutionally, legislature has more power than the executive. They can make much more difference than the executive.
So I agree, politicians can make bigger differences, but politicians are being assisted by the civil services only. It's the bureaucracy which guide the politicians to take the right decisions. I agree that the final decision making is by the politicians only, but the framework around which they work is prepared by the civil servants. So I think bureaucracy has a broader impact. Also, politicians have very varied life. They need to involve in campaign as well, election things as well, and only then they are able to contribute. But bureaucracy has a constant phase of getting involved in the policy making and making the ground level differences.
So, apart from framing policies, don't you think public awareness is equally important?
So public
What
awareness.
if there is a scheme available which people can benefit from, but they don't even know it exists then?
So sir, it is the job of bureaucracy to spread awareness as well.
But politicians do it more effectively. You recently quoted Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, right? Modi ji popularized it amongst the masses more effectively, all by himself, all alone.
I agree, sir. Politicians have a huge role to play, but being a politician is probably not my cup of tea. So that's why I judge in bureaucracy.
I see. Okay, fair enough. So let's say you become an IAS officer. Where would you like to start from?
Sir, I would like to start from the education.
Alright.
I would like to contribute to the education sector because from my own experience, it is the education which has empowered me and my family. 2 generations back, my family was a farmer. Like my grandfather was farmer, and in the initial years, my father was also a farmer. It was the education which has transformed everything. My elder brother lives in USA currently. It was the education only which helped him to take big decisions and get success in his life. Similarly, I get into the IITs and sitting in the UPSC interview. So it is a prestige in itself, and it was only because of education. So that's why I want to choose education sector as my first method to make an impact.
I see. And what is your opinion about new education policy?
So new education policy is a wonderful policy being framed by the government of India in 2020. In this document, government has envisioned how to provide multidimensional development to a child. It has inculcated various extracurricular activities. Also, a 3-language formula is there. So all these things will help the child to grow in different ways. So overall, I think it's a very effective policy.
All right. And how would you make a difference? Where would you start from?
Sir, I would start with improving the infrastructure quality, and secondly, I would start with increasing the quality of education itself. Currently, the problem with the education sector is that although there is a school, the quality of teachers is not there, and the quality of facilities is not there. Also, there is a lack of awareness among people, and that's why there is a high dropout rate.
Is it the quality of teachers or quality of training? Is it the intellect or intent?
Sir, I think intellect is not the problem. The problem is with respect to the training itself. Teachers are not trained enough, and sometimes I think it is also a matter of accountability. Teachers are not made that much accountable, and that's why I think there is low attendance rate among the teachers as well in some schools. So I want to maintain the integrity of the system, and in that domain I will work.
All right. And where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
In 10 years, I think I see myself as working in probably education department itself, contributing directly to the implementation of the education policy, and helping the department to develop infrastructures and train the teachers.
I see. Okay, so I think this is it. We should end this interview. Now I shall give you evaluations. Alright. To begin with, plenty of filler counters. There was lack of fluency. I have been able to count 20 plus. There were, I'm sure, a lot more. Because every second sentence there was some sort of a filler counter was there. Alright. So there could be two reasons behind it. Either you were overthinking, there were many thoughts running into your mind and you were unable to decide which one to share at one point of time, and hence you were getting stuck. That could be one of the reasons. The other reason could be you were just nervous. So what do you think was the reason? Or both?
Combination of both.
A combination of both, okay. So fluency was one of the issues. The other one was MTI, sir, sure, and it impacted your pronunciation of so many words. Occasionally it even became hard to comprehend you. I will give you those examples, like opportunity.
Opportunity.
It's not opportunity, it's opportunity.
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 Not upper.
Upper.
Yeah, opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Passion.
Passion.
Don't pick the accent, pick the tone.
Okay.
Passion.
Passion.
Yeah.
Passion.
You said it something else. I guess you said it passion. We can check in the video and figure. Various.
Various.
Yeah, you said something like various.
Various.
It took me 5 seconds to figure out what exactly this means. Then I recalled the entire sentence. Various policy formation. And then I came to a conclusion, you probably said various. So I hope you can understand. This can cause confusion. Mispronunciation can cause confusion. Various. Policy.
Policy.
Formulation.
Formulation.
Experience. Shop. Yes. You said medical soap. And I got confused. Shop. Probably. It's not probably. It's probably. Cater.
Cater.
C-A-D-E-R. Cater.
Acha, cater.
Yeah. Upskill.
Upskill.
I noted E sound popping up with the words that start with S. Like you said it multiple times. Upskill. That's how you said it. And it got confusing. Upskill. Yes. Develop. Capabilities. Theory.
What's it?
Theory.
Theory. Okay, theory.
Yes. And then envision.
Envision.
Yes. Please try to overcome at least such a trouble. Because it is impacting so deeply. And so many words are being mispronounced. It is not, I would say all the time, but many a times becoming really difficult to comprehend the information you share. Alright, this should not happen. The message should go across as it is. People should not have to, assume. People should not have to interpret the message. They should be able to grab the information as it is, for which you must ensure that you pronounce the words right. Are you with me on this? Right. And then try to overcome repetition of ideas or thoughts. When you have decided to say something, just say it. Don't break the sentence in the middle and don't restart the sentence. Okay? Avoid confusing answers. If you are asked a question, you answer that question straight. Avoid beating around the bush. That's what I'm saying. Also, if you have started a sentence, then finish it. Many times you can watch the video yourself as well. What I noted was, you started a sentence, you broke it in the middle, then you restarted. Sometimes you broke it twice. And then you restarted it again for the third time. Problematic. Try to maintain a bit more eye contact. Like I suggested during our session, that you maintain an eye contact for about 3 to 4 seconds, break it for a fraction of a second and then bring it back. Okay? Do not let it go away for a longer duration. Okay? Although constant stare can be problematic, that's why. Maintain an eye contact for about 3 to 4 seconds, break it for a fraction, bring it back. But a fraction, not multiple seconds. You do get me, right? Right. And do not contradict yourself. I repeatedly discussed that point. Earlier you said, be completely rigid. Then I quoted Acharya Chanakya. And then you said, I agree with him. But his words were, the most rigid trees fall the first. You said, I agree with him. That means you disagree with rigidity. You agree with flexibility. And then you repeatedly said, I repeatedly asked, you repeatedly contradicted your own self.
But sir, for corruption, like many, I attended few like sessions for the interview. They were like, for corruption, if they ask you on corruption, be rigid. Don't support it any case.
Which I agree with. My point is, do not contradict your own self.
Okay. So in that case, should I disagree with Chanakya? So Acharya Chanakya, should I disagree with him?
Do not contradict your own self.
No,
even if when that amounts to being in disagreement with any famous personality.
Okay.
Right? Corruption is against our moral values. But Chanakya suggested flexibility. However, his methods have been more successful. Let's understand it again. एक ब्यूरोक्रेट है, ठीक है, जो कि अपने कामों को लेकर बिल्कुल रिजिड है, बिल्कुल स्ट्रिक्ट है, और उनके लगातार ट्रांसफ़र होते जा रहे हैं. कभी कहीं हो जाता है, कभी कहीं हो जाता है. वो किसी लोकेशन में जाते हैं, उनकी बनती नहीं पॉलिटिशियन से, चलो ट्रांसफ़र. कहीं और जाते हैं, बनते नहीं, चलो ट्रांसफ़र. कहीं और जाते हैं, बनते नहीं, चलो ट्रांसफ़र. और वो ठीक से कोई काम कर ही नहीं पा रहे. और उसी केस में उसी तरह से एक दूसरे ब्यूरोक्रेट हैं जो कि थोड़े बहुत फ्लेक्सिबल है, जो कि कुछ चीज़ों को लेकर ठीक है फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिखा देते हैं ताकि उनको ट्रांसफ़र ना किया जाए, ताकि उनके ऊपर ज़बरदस्ती का कोई प्रेशर ना डाला जाए. ठीक है, लेकिन वो एक लोकेशन पे बैठ के ठीक ठाक काम कर पा रहे हैं. राइट. हालांकि कुछ केसेस में उन्हें अपनी आंखें मूंदनी पड़ रही हैं. तो कौन से केस में कौन से ब्यूरोक्रेट जो है ओवरऑल देखा जाए तो सोसाइटी के लिए ज़्यादा बेनिफिशियल है, जो थोड़ी बहुत केसेस में आंखें मूंद लेते हैं और उनका ज़बरदस्ती बार बार ट्रांसफ़र नहीं किया जा रहा और वो ठीक ठाक काम कुछ कर पा रहे हैं, कुछ तो कर पा रहे हैं. या फिर पहला केस जो कि बिल्कुल रिजिड है और उनके ट्रांसफ़र हुए जा रहे हैं और वो कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे, उन्हें कुछ करने दिया नहीं जा रहा.
अच्छा, इन दैट केस बीइंग फ्लेक्सिबल, बट किस मामले में फ्लेक्सिबल हो रहे हैं ये डिसाइड कर सकते हैं.
Yes. So if you see from the point of view of society is benefiting more from somebody who is at least allowed to stay at a place and work, because the elected leaders will always have more power than the executive. Okay, and we all know some of them are not very honest towards their job, right? So उसमें क्या किया जा सकता है, शायद
थोड़ा सा
in the end it's your discretion. But चाणक्य जी का ये कहना है थोड़ा बहुत फ्लेक्सिबल होना ज़रूरी है ताकि आप खुद भी कुछ कर पाओ, नहीं तो आपको कुछ करने नहीं दिया जाएगा. राइट. दिस इज व्हाट द एक्चुअल ग्राउंड लेवल सिनेरियो इज. Morals I do agree with, but are they applicable? You have to see. Are they completely applicable? 100% you have to see. Anyway, my point was do not contradict yourself. एक बात जो आपने कह दी उस पर आप स्ट्रिक्ट रहिए, नहीं तो आप अपने आप को झूठा साबित कर देंगे. Right? Moving further. Avoid grammatical mistakes. There were plenty of them. I will highlight a few.
Okay.
My childhood experiences itself. Experiences means more than one. You can't say itself. Themselves.
Okay.
Was a big reason or were?
So while writing, it doesn't come, but while speaking, the focus is on speaking. So grammatical mistakes automatically happen.
Practice speaking. The more you speak in English, the more comfortable you become. That is with every skill. You want to become a great driver, drive. You want to become a great swimmer, swim. Similarly, you want to become a great speaker, speak. Further, I started to look for new ways in which I can contribute. See, this was a past sentence. I started to look for new ways through which I could contribute. present past confusion. Do not make timeline mistakes, otherwise people will they'll get confused whether you're speaking in present or past, right? He asked if they can contribute, if they could contribute. Okay, adoption or adaptation?
Adaptation.
Do we adopt AI or adapt?
Adapt.
Yeah, we adapt a technology. I get into IITs. As far as your resume goes, you finished your IIT training program in 2020.
Got it.
Yeah, that's past statement. Right? So you figured out major major mistake with grammar was present past issue. Where should I mention it? Yeah, so these were some of the issues. If you are able to overcome them, it will improve your chances by a great margin to get selected, right? So maybe you can go through them, practice a little more, record yourself, do self-talk. We have sample interview questions as well. You can try answering them to a camera and then notice. All right, try to overcome these issues. I will share these videos with you as well, and then we can probably have another one and see how we have improved.
Yes.
All right, fine then. Pleasure having you here.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Cheers. Take this.